Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XII, here with Morris. Thank you for joining me, and at the end of the last part, we were just taking care of a couple of hunts, and I pose that we may take care of a couple more, but actually, when I look at it a little bit closer, I don't think we need to. Okay, so these two, Giza has to be either dry for that one, or rainy for that one, so we can't even do those at the same time. That one is probably too difficult for us. That one is a million miles away, which leaves only one left, and I can't be bothered. So, I think we're actually just going to move on. I know it is an advantage to have Larsa with us, but honestly, by the time we get around to doing them, it won't matter. So, that's fine. So, we're just going to move on. Just going to head straight up the mountain. I said in the last episode that this would be a great place to live, and I stand by that. I mean, yes, these are all refugees, but still. You know, it looks peaceful enough. Maybe I just wouldn't live in this bit. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying it's nice. It's nice up here. It's nice and peaceful. Isn't that all we want? Just a little bit of peace. Now try and tell me you wouldn't enjoy waking up to that every day. Well, maybe not waking up to it. I wouldn't sleep outside the building. But just, you know, in and around it. I don't know who's living on there, on that floating rock. There are clearly buildings on there. They seem a little bit too cut off from society. Anyway, let's stroll right in, which apparently we're allowed to do.
Is he sleeping?
No, my child.
Whoa.
I do not sleep. I dream. For reality and illusion are a duality. Two parts of a whole. Only the mirror of dreams reflects what is true.
Anastasis, Your Grace. I am
Lay
Ashelia.
down your words. Ashelia, daughter of Ramanas, I have dreamt your dream. Who better to carry on the Dalmascan line than she who bears the Dawn Shard? Your dream of a kingdom restored is known to me.
Grand Kiltius, then give us your blessing. Grant the Lady Ash her accession
I do not
to the...
suppose this is something you might reconsider. My little Emperor-in-waiting. You called and I have come.
This is the man I wanted you to meet. Believe it or not, he is a member of the noble house Margrace, rulers of the Rosarian Empire.
I am but one of very, very many. Try as I might, I could not stop this war alone. Thus, I came seeking Larsa's assistance. Alcide Margrace at your service. To think I stand before the Lady Ash, it is truly an honor. I see it is true after all. Stunning is Dalmasca's desert bloom.
In Arcadia, Larsa. In Rosaria, Alcide. They dream not of war. Should empire join with empire, the way will open for a new Evilis in our time.
Grand Kiltias, you speak much of dreams, but in the real world, war is upon us.
Gran Kiltias, I was told my coming here would prevent this war. I was to assume my father's throne and announce the restoration of Dalmasca, treat with the Empire for peace, and persuade the Resistance to stay their hand. I have not come all this way to be asked to reconsider.
A word from you and the Resistance would stop cold, and Rosario's pretext for joining the war scattered off to the four winds. This was what we had hoped. Alas, circumstances change. A full 2 years have passed since your reported death. Were it to become known you are still alive, I fear it could only worsen our current situation.
Because I am powerless to help.
Nay, in fact it has little to do with you.
Then what? If Lady Ash were to extend her hand in friendship, perhaps I could then persuade the Emperor. His Excellency will solve things peacefully.
The Emperor Gramis is no more. His life was taken.
Father.
What possible cause could we have to lay hand on our Emperor?
A deception and an outrage! The Senate will not stand for this!
A viper amongst our senators?
With Chairman Gregoroth as its head. With what dignity remained him, he confessed to the poisoning and passed his own
A
sentence.
viper with many tails. Much of the Senate is culpable.
We had no choice but to strip the Senate of authority and assign powers of autocracy to myself until such time as order...
Spare me your lies! I see the serpent coiled here before me!
Grace, you speak too freely.
Zargabath! Do not tell me you join in his mama's farce!
With Rosaria poised to invade at any moment, our leader must have a free hand.
The once great House Solidor is now reduced to myself and my dear brother Larsa.
Surely you would not go so far. Vain Solidor! As Judge Magister and upholder of the law, I hereby place you under arrest.
You misunderstand. Vane did not make himself autocrat. It was the very Ministry of Law which you serve. Do you see it now, Drace? When you bared your sword at His Excellency, you bared your sword at the law.
You wear the mama's motley well, Bergen. Such strength, inhuman.
Zargabath, take the Alexander. You will accompany Bergen and bring Larsa back to me.
Sire.
Your Excellency, Lord Larsa was placed under my charge.
Oh? Perhaps you mistook your orders, then. I can see no other explanation for why you were reporting and conjecturing on my doings to my late father.
Your Excellency.
A hound begging for scraps at the Emperor's table. Would you serve another master, Hound? You may fulfill your duty as Judge Magister before us all. She has been tried and found guilty.
Your Excellency, I beg you reconsider.
Do it. I care not. Live, Gabranth. Protect the young lord. Protect Larsa.
Forgive me.
Pray be quick.
And so House Solidor lives on.
Let us suppose you approach the Empire with a peaceful resolution. The late Emperor Gramis would have lent you his ear, that much is certain, but we are dealing with vain Solidor. Should the princess return, he would claim her an impostor, or to tempt the resistance into battle. Vayne wants this war, that much is certain. As our ill luck would have it, the man is a military genius.
The dreams have told me thus. To reveal yourself would imperil us all. I see war, and Vayne's name writ bold on history's page.
Arcadia's banners fly high. They are making ready for the coming war. According to our latest reports, the Western Armada prepares for war, under Vayne's command, no less. The newly formed 12th Fleet has already been deployed. Oh yes, the Imperial First Fleet stands ready. They'll be underway as soon as the Odin's refit is complete. And there is more. The 2nd Caravan Expeditionary Force is being called in to replace the missing 8th, so there will be no gaps. The largest force ever seen!
And then, the Nethicite is the coup de grace. Grand Kiltius, your grace. I spoke to you of my succession. Let us put that aside. Should I become Queen of Dalmasca now, powerless as I am, I can protect nothing. With a greater power at my disposal, perhaps then.
It is the Nethicite of which you dream?
I require something far greater.
To wield power against power. Truly, the words of a human child.
I am descended from the Dynast King himself.
Indeed. Then you have but one choice. Seek you the other power Wraithwall left.
Does such a thing exist?
Journey across the Paramana Rift to the still shrine of Miriam. There rests the gift he entrusted to the Grand Kiltius of his time. Seek it out. The Sword of Kings can cut through Nethicite. Why he would entrust the power to destroy Nethicite, the instrument of his greatness, to another and not to his own progeny, I cannot say. Awaken Shelia Benagan, and take up your sword, or your dream will remain but a dream. My dream, too, fades into day.
Poor Larsa. Also, Al Cid does not come with you, and he is like the most underutilized character in this whole game. He's really barely in it, and yet he seems way cooler than anyone who's ever lived. So I don't know why they... You know, I was saying it's a shame that, you know, all the characters, they're kind of okay, but it's a shame there's not much variety. Why not throw Al Cid in there? Why not throw someone like that in there? That's, you know... Anyway. He shows up and he's the coolest guy ever, rivaling Balthier for levels of coolness. But no. No, we gotta leave him behind. And we have to leave Larsa behind. So yeah, only a team of 3 now. And now we are heading south to the next dungeon. And the next dungeon has a couple of interesting bosses in it as well. And I'm a little bit worried because I feel kind of under-leveled. But we seem to be doing okay for bosses. You know, we haven't never really been in trouble. So that's encouraging. So I guess we'll just go and see how we fare. Through the magic of doing things off camera, I can always gain a couple of levels in no time, so to speak. And speaking of doing things off camera, I did do a bit of running around, trying to gather up the equipment that's actually in this area. And we did pick up a few things, so before I head out again, I better just actually remember to put them on. So I found a few shields, and I'm going to put Diamond Shield on Vaughn. And you'll notice his evade is already at 50, it goes up to 68. That's pretty good. He's kind of going to be the tank for the B team. It's sort of a backup tank, just because although he's not quite in the same way as Bosch in terms of defense and just raw power. Yeah, that evade stat is pretty damn good, and his speed is also gonna at least double. So yeah, he's gonna become quite the speedster later on. Anyway, that's it for Vaughn. For Balthier, I am going to switch to the crossbow. We've got a couple of options with Balthier actually, because you do find another gun, but I'm not actually sure what is more powerful. Whether it's the crossbow. I know that the attack power again isn't really indicative of how powerful they actually are, because like we've said, guns ignore defense, whereas this takes into account defense, so it's, I don't know, it's a difficult one. But I seem to remember from a previous playthrough switching to the crossbow. So we're going to do that for a little bit. And the evade stat isn't really important, because when is Balthier ever when do you ever even see him in a battle? He's always sort of hanging out, you know, at the back somewhere, so that's fine. Fran is all good. It's just straight upgrades. The Elfin bow is good. There is a Loxley bow hanging around somewhere, which I think is slightly more powerful, but I went back and forth. It wouldn't spawn, and I didn't want to spend the rest of my life doing that, so that's Fran. Bosch just gets a straight shield upgrade, the Platinum Shield, which is the best one that we can get at this point. This is the big one. This Murasame, it is around in the map somewhere. Again, I couldn't get it to spawn, so I decided to just buy it. But that's fine, because in going back and forth and fighting a few things, I earn the money to get this anyway, so Ash will actually be able to do something now, so that's good. And Pinello, although there is, I'm hovering over the optimize button. I don't think this really is optimizing, because the Gaia Rod is, you notice the attack power, it goes up by 1. That's not really worth it, because the Heavy Lance, like we said, that slow effect, I think, is more valuable than an extra point of attack, so we're going to keep that as is. But yeah, now everybody's good. So, let's head out, shall we? We're heading south. And I'm going to stick with the 18, because I spent when I was going around trying to get this equipment, I was using Vaughn, Fran, and Ash, so they're a little bit of a higher level. Yeah, it feels weird not having Larsa with me. There you go, see that slow effect, I love it. I might have known as soon as I start talking about Balthier staying away from the battle, he immediately gets hit. Ah, that's what we want to see. Yeah, I mean, we are... Oh, really? A suit of shielded armor? Really? I already have one. I didn't even know that was there. You know, there are some chests here that aren't even in the guide. Like, they're marked on the map, but it doesn't even tell you what might be in them, like it does with everything else. I should write these guides. I should be the one writing these guides. I actually applied for a job once writing game guides, but I didn't get it. I'm not exactly sure what experience you're meant to have for that. But there you go. Oh yeah, and I set up Penelo with a Kiraga Gambit instead of Kira. Ooh, and before I forget, I do want to. There's one spell that we want to get the Dispel spell as quick as possible for Ashe. So what I'm actually going to do is equip her with, instead of the bangle, especially because we're not controlling her at the moment, I'm going to equip her with the golden amulet, doubling license points. Just so we can get there as quick as possible, because it's near, but it's sort of over here. So you know we need a few license points before we'll actually get it. And everyone else is kind of good for licenses. You can always, you know, grind if you really want more, but playing the game normally tends to be enough. You don't really need to grind for license points. And there's a few items in this area which I haven't even tried to get, so we may even get upgrades for I think Vaughn. I think there's a dagger available somewhere for Vaughn, and another shield, and etc, etc. But they're a little bit further into this area, so I didn't want to kind of go too far ahead, especially in case I accidentally triggered various cutscenes. But yeah, we're just kind of going through this area a little bit casually. There isn't really anything here that can do too much damage, apart from that sort of ice elemental there, which I don't really want to get near. And I don't want to fight that guy, thank you. There's actually another save crystal here, which is pretty generous, actually. When you think about where the town is, I'm going to take advantage while I'm here. But I suppose the save crystals are pretty generously laid out through the whole game, actually. And they're quite a generous item to even have anyway, you know, completely healing you, giving you full health, full MP, curing all status effects. Not all Final Fantasy games are that generous. Alright, what are you guys called? Twintania. Okay. They look more deadly than they are. Still, when they group up, I guess they can be pretty deadly. But that goes for anything. And if I spied correctly there, these are giving us 2 license points instead of just 1. So that's, again, very generous. But yeah, speaking of, I mentioned Vaughn was going to become a speedster. The reason being is you can get an item which, I mean, it pretty much doubles your speed. It certainly adds a hell of a lot on. Combine that with haste, combine that with potentially berserk, and it's, you know, you might as well not have one of the active time gauges. It's just, there's no, you know, it goes by in the blink of an eye. Anyway, I'm not going to fight these guys because I don't like fighting next to these traps. So we're just going to keep moving. Are they going to follow me the whole way? Okay. I actually can't hit these things as Bosch, which is a bit annoying. Penelo, really? Those enemies can be a lot more dangerous than they look, actually. A lot of them have sort of suicide attacks, which is a bit annoying. Revive? What is... I don't remember that. Which is strange, because that sounds like something I should remember. Is that a spell? Oh, it's a technique. Fully consume HP, fully restoring the HP of one KO'd ally. That seems over the top. Not overpowered, just over the top. Sacrifice one character to save another. Seems like a strange tactical idea. Wow, I'm doing no damage to this guy as Bosch. What? What happened there? Why did I do no damage to him? Oh, that's the thing with axes. That's why I don't like using them. Yeah, it's because the range of their damage output is huge. So you might do nothing, or you might do a shit ton. That's why I don't use them. I knew there was a reason. Whereas with swords, you know, the potential is a lot stricter. So it might not be as high, but there's at least a guarantee of a minimum, you know? I was going to say I thought I wasn't doing that much damage sometimes. The numbers, you can see the numbers fluctuate quite a bit. 386, 132, that's not great. But that's okay, because I did pick up the Demon's Bane, which is a sword pretty on par with this axe in terms of attack power, so... Don't think I have the license for it yet, but that should be fixed pretty soon. In fact, where is the license for that? Oh, it's right there. Let's get it. That's handy. Yeah, attack power 51. Evade goes down by 1. That's fine. But yeah, no guarantees with these chests, but hopefully we'll get a couple of good items. Sledgehammer. See, that'll be definitely better, I would think. Maybe I don't have the license for it. No, I don't have the license for it. But that's, you know, you can see how the attack power is way better. On hit disable, that's pretty good. But yeah, the numbers will fluctuate a little bit too much for my liking. I don't know, maybe I'll do a bit of experimentation. Don't really like fighting too close to this elemental. Nothing from that. As long as it doesn't see you casting magic, I think it's okay. Just want to have a look around. I'm not really sure where the other chests are, so... Like I say, if I do miss anything, I'll definitely come back and get it at some point. But I mean, there's no no guarantees any of these leave and spawn. So. See, that's steady damage that I want there. 531, 463. Yeah, that's good. Wow. This Yeti is not happy. And here we are. Once again, you'd think this place would be covered in snow, but it isn't. No idea why. And I don't need either of these chests, but I'm gonna get them. They both have the same thing in them. And that thing is not something we'll really be wearing. But they're there, so we'll take them. It's a rather grand looking location. It's like a Tomb Raider level. Really need to get some more health for Pinello. Didn't realize it was so low. Alright, here we are. And an ice shield. No, I don't. Is that better? No, it's better for ice attacks, but still. We may equip it. There is an ice boss coming up, and that's going to come in handy for that. Which is presumably why it's placed, obviously, in your line of sight, to make sure you get that ice shield. Anyway, I am going to pause it for now, guys. We're just about half an hour, I think. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this episode of Final Fantasy XII. Have a great day, and I will see you next time where we'll conquer this dungeon. See you later.